In the previous video, we learned the basics of filtering with the where command. Now what we want to do is limit the amount of columns that we want to display. So what we do is that after that filtering, which is searching only on the last 5 days and only the logs that contain something like Adam, you want to put the next operator, which is project, not project, but to project. I want to show this, display this. And again, the operators do not have parentheses and are typically at the beginning of the pipe, while functions like this one do have parentheses. But you may also have operators that are not at the beginning, like this contains, but we know it's not a function because there are no parentheses in it. And let's say that we want to show from this list, say that we want that original time we want, original underscore time. We also want the, for example, say that we want the user ID we've been playing with. We also want, and you're separating all these by commas, the source IP. And let's skip all the way to the payload, right? So just the entire, and we will see examples in which typically on the with the contains you want to put payload contains, and then what is it that you are searching on the actual entire content of the payload. That of course will be a little bit more expensive search. With the level of performance that these things have, I don't think it is a concern at all. So if I were to run these now, instead of getting all the columns that we saw before, we only are going to see these columns that we care. And you can of course rename them, and this is similar to what we did in KQL, and you can put here timestamp equals, and I'm going to rename only that one, right? So you get the point. The column, the way it's going to be displayed, will have that timestamp. Okay. I'll talk about the syntax of the timestamp in another video, but let's just keep it like that. What else can we do with project? You of course can do things like create a new component in here and make it, what can I do? Let me think. I want to add a column that I'm going to call user ID length, and it's going to be, I'm going to use a function, again this is like C++ or standard C, strlen, and I'm going to put here the field user underscore ID, and that should give me another column that will have the number of characters that the user ID has. In this case, Frank Adams and the dash, 11 characters there, right? One important concept, actually it's a consequence of the usage of the pipes, is that in here we had all the columns. But when we executed this pipe on the project, we lost a whole bunch of columns that were before. I cannot see them anymore. So if I were to add here a project, and I'm going to put, for example, destination IP, which we don't have, but we're going to get an error in here. Column is missing and cause the query to fail. It's invisible from the concept of the pipes. However, if I put in here project payload, then this is going to override what the previous project was doing, and it's only going to show me the columns for the actual payload. So understand that concept of the piping. What you leave behind, you cannot get back. Alongside the project operator, this one that is also used. So if you don't want to do this over here, or let's say that you are doing multiple operations down here and you want to add a column because you're going to have a bunch of things in here that are computed and you don't have at the moment that this project was actually issued or executed, you can actually, let me take it out of here, you can use the extend operator. So I'm going to do another pipe. So that what you have from over here, now pipe it to extend, and I'm going to put it here. And that's going to give me the same result. But let's say that in between these two, there were a bunch of operations that you did, and you computed something below here, and now is when you want to add it into the existing column. Well, you can actually do that with the extend command. Particularly the extend command is frequently used with the extract command we will show later to do regex explorations. Let's say that you are going in and looking for, I have an example on a command line in which we use regex to take a portion of the actual command issued. You can actually use, typically we'll use extend with the extract following after that. More on that later. And of course, you don't have to do all the filter in the beginning. You can do it in the middle. So let's actually try to do a filter here. Let's say that we don't want the source IP, this one. So I'm going to copy that one, and I'm going to say where source IP is not equal. I'm going to paste that I just copy, and that should exclude that one in there. So that's a combination of project and where you do the filter. And the beauty of KQL, and it's so intuitive, because unlike SQL that you have all those nesting that was very hard to follow even visually, in here you know the results of this pipe, boom, is standard Unix stuff is put over here, and the results of this is put over here, and so on. So the readability of the searches is easier, and the building of them is far easy. In the next section, we're going to see the summarize operator that is used for grouping related information.